So, we are going to play a game. Some of you have heard of this game. It is our improv storytelling game. We've got our candles. And it is a game we have
I'm gonna
called.
light my pop filter on fire. I'm worried.
Yeah, don't. That costs money. Uh, so, anyway, this is a game called In the Cards. And what it is you all sent us random images. These are super random and weird. And we are going to, I didn't look at them, I just downloaded them and threw them in a folder. And I'm going to pop them on the screen one at a time. And whoever turn it is has to make up a story based on these images. And we will try to make it spooky. We will try to make it a little supernatural. Excuse me. Mexican. Too many tacos.
That was just natural, not supernatural.
That was natural, yeah. Yeah, Diana got to hear me belch the alphabet yesterday.
It was impressive.
It was very impressive. Maybe if you guys stick around, I'll do it for you. So.
That's the 10:30 show.
It is, yeah. So, we are going to put some images on the screen. You all should be able to see them. If you can't, let us know in the comments, but hopefully you'll be able to see them. And we're going to begin. So, who wants to go first? Diana.
You want me to go first?
I do want you to go first.
Alrighty. Show
Okay.
me the story.
All right. So, let's start with an image here.
If it's 100% unintelligible, I'm just going to make shit up, okay? Ooh. Ooh, this is exciting. Hang on. I got to go full screen for a second. Oh, okay. All right. So, this is a story about my haunted arboretum, I think. Possibly a greenhouse. I wasn't really sure. I inherited this big old house in the country when I was only 22. I didn't really take anything seriously at the time. But I inherited this big old house with this big, beautiful greenhouse attached to it. Or maybe it's an arboretum. I don't really know the difference. But anyway, I was really kind of, going back and forth about whether or not I should move out to this giant, old, rickety estate, or if I should just take my puppets on the road and do what I knew I could do best, which was a traveling ventriloquy show. That's really how I got through my early 20s. Ventriloquy was everything to me. I was all over the puppetry. Some even called me the puppet mistress. But anyway, by the time I was 23, I was tired of all that. I was burned out on puppet shows. I mean, you should have seen some of the audiences I had to sit for. They were as angry as baboons with hemorrhoids. I swear. Some of them even threw feces at me. And I'm a pretty good ventriloquist. I mean, watch this. Oh, look. I can't believe that you're not talking right now. Da-da! You see? So, anyway, I don't know why I got such bad reviews as a ventriloquist. So, I decided I would go ahead and move out to the country. Now, I was really in the public eye when I was a performer. I mean, I couldn't go anywhere without being recognized. People just saw me walking down the street and begged for my autograph. It was starting to get old. So, everywhere I looked, I always felt like somebody was watching me. So I thought, it's time. I'm 23 now. It's time to head out to my big abandoned mansion in the countryside. But I drove and I drove and I drove into the sunset through these creepy woods until finally I rounded a corner and there it was, my big dark house. Now, I'd only ever seen pictures of it before. I'd never been there. So what I didn't know was that someone had killed themselves with a knitting needle there in that house, that very house. And as they were knitting, they were so angry about knitting. This is how the legend goes. I know it now, but I didn't know then when I moved in. As they were knitting, they accidentally picked up the feather duster instead of the knitting needle and tried to knit with it. And they were so mad because they got so much dust in their nose that they started sneezing uncontrollably, sneezing, and finally, with the needle right in their head, through the brain, and they tumbled out the window behind them into down a flight of stairs and into the Arboretum. And so I was about to find out that they never truly left. Then, that night I arrived at the house. It was pitch black out there in the countryside. I couldn't see a thing. I took my puppets and I walked up the creaky wooden stairs to the front door. Creak, 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 creak. It was an extremely old house, so the stairs were kind of creaky. Very creaky, let's say very creaky. Anyway, I'm not easily freaked out by things like that. So I was like, this is fine. I can spend the night with my puppets here in this old abandoned mansion in the middle of nowhere, in the dark, in the night. I'm not scared. I opened the door and I stepped into my new home for the first time. I turned to take one more look at the moon. Little did I know it would be the last time I saw the moon. I shut the door behind me and I walked into the dark house, pulling out my candle so that I could see into the darkness. But the candle only cast a glow within a couple of inches of me, and so the entire room was bathed in shadow. Was that? No, I thought something moved. Couldn't be. It's just me and my puppets here. And my puppets only move when I tell them to. So I'm pretty sure I'm alone here. As I'm going through the house, I see a set of stairs, a spiral staircase leading up. And I start climbing the stairs because I'm pretty sure there's probably a bedroom up there and it's getting really late at night. And I just want to go to bed. I've got my puppet in one arm and my candle in the other. And I reach the top of the stairs and I realize this used to be a church. There's a church bell right here at the top of the stairs. It's a bell tower, not just a spiral staircase. Well, I guess I'm not going to find a bedroom in the bell tower, I think, and climb back down the stairs. It's so dark in here. I wish I could find a light. I feel my way along the wall for a light switch, and I flick on the light switch and nothing happens. I know that they turned the electricity on in preparation for my move here. The breaker box is in the basement, most likely. So I turn and I look. I finally spot a door with a staircase going down. So I go, hold my candle out over the staircase. It does look like a dark, dank basement. I start creaking down the stairs. Gosh, I can hardly see a thing in the basement. It's so dark. What is that? What do I see? What is that? I can't see it. Ah, it's a spider! Oh my God, that is the biggest spider I've ever seen. But I'm not easily afraid of these things. So I steel my nerves, hold up my candle, and find the breaker box, looking over my shoulder every 5 seconds. Make sure that enormous spider isn't following me. I have chills, but I found it. I found the breaker box. I reach in and I flip on the breakers, and all of a sudden the entire house lights up. And I can hear from upstairs a record player turn on, playing an old record when the power goes on. I don't know this song. I'm curious. Who would have left a record playing when they moved out of a house? It's almost as if they didn't leave on purpose. I head to the other end of the house, looking for the record player, so that I can figure out why it's still playing after all these years. And I've come across a room at the top of another set of stairs, a room with a rocking chair full of knitting, and a window that's been busted out from the inside. I peer down through the window. What is that down there? Why can't I see the moon? Isn't this outside? I peer down through the window. What is that? I can't see it. Is that a library down there? I think it is a library. I wonder why there's a library underneath this window. I should be looking at the Arboretum, shouldn't I? So I climb out on the windowsill to get a better look, just to make sure I know exactly what I'm looking at. And that's when I fell.
Sorry.
My puppet was behind me, laughing as I fell. Scary enough for you?
Yeah, well, I'm scared of puppets, so
See?
definitely.
I tried to work in puppets and ghosts.
Yes, yes. Well, we had puppets come up in our one that we did earlier.
I can't avoid them today. It's a puppety day.
We've got some accolades from people here. Oh, hang on. The cat is throwing up on my bed. 1 second.
Oh no. This isn't part of her story, folks. This is nonfiction right now. You're listening to live cat vomit
Can you hear
happening now.
She's like,
I bet she is.
right on the bed, which is also covered in clean clothes because we did laundry. Yay.
Absorbent, at least.
Yes, yes. All right. Thank you, everybody, for...
Thank you.
Yeah, so it's my turn now.
Becky,
so I'm gonna
tell me a story.
I may be a little slower at it because I got to like share images while I do this. Oh, Amanda, you're here. No, that was the... that was not the ghost. That was the cat throwing up.
Thank goodness Becky's ghost doesn't have hairballs.
Or does
That would
it?
be an ectoplasm nightmare.
Ooh. Yes, absolutely. All right. Well, welcome for Amanda. I see you just showed up. Well, glad you could be here. I've got my let me put this on the
Double fisting it with the candle in the
I'm gonna
water.
put it on the flashy setting to make it look like a real
There you
candle. All right. So, this is the story of the time that I decided I absolutely needed to be able to see through my foot. You see, my foot had been giving me some trouble. It had become possessed, as it were. And I'm not quite sure if it was by a demon or a ghost or a sentient chainsaw. I don't know, but for some reason, my foot had developed a mind of its own, and it decided that it wanted to walk in one direction while I was trying to walk in another direction. And by one direction, I am not referring to the band. So I set about a quest to remove the demon, or whatever it was, entity, from my possessed foot. The first stop, of course, was to try and determine what exactly was possessing my foot. The fact that it always wanted to march made me think maybe it had been once a part of a chain gang. Prisoners from the Depression era building railroads out in Oklahoma, because that's where railroads were built. Oklahoma. So I made a trip to Oklahoma, a place I've never been. But I know someone there. She has purple hair. So, as I began my quest toward Oklahoma and toward trying to figure out what had possessed my foot, I encountered a rocking horse. Now, this is actually very fortunate because while my foot always wanted to walk somewhere else, I realized that if I got on the rocking horse and scooted, my foot would just flap in the air and it couldn't do anything. It couldn't do anything at all. I got you, foot. You possessed foot. I may not have to cut you off after all. So I'm on my way. I'm on my way to Oklahoma on my rocking horse. And sometimes people would come up to me and say, F you and the rocking horse you rode in on. And I would say, no, F you, because this is a live performance and I'm trying not to say the word fuck. And anyway, so I'm writing. And I got to tell you, this was taking me a long time riding on a rocking horse all the way to Oklahoma. It took years. And by the time I finally made it to Oklahoma, I was very, very old. As old as the Princess Theater that was not in Oklahoma. I don't know where this was. I got lost along the way, but that's okay. It didn't matter that it had been 260 years since I set out on this journey. My foot was still possessed. Then I started to think, wait a minute, 260 years. I've been riding this rocking horse through the prairie. Maybe my foot is keeping me alive. Maybe my foot is immortal. Maybe my foot is possessed by a vampire. Now, this was intriguing. Did I really want to get rid of my foot then? The next solution, of course, was to keep the foot, but write a memoir. Maybe if I could write the history of the creature possessing my foot, I would learn more about it, and then maybe we could become one, a sentient being. And then I could live forever, not just my foot. And my foot wouldn't try walking off. Maybe we could just come to a resolution here. But the problem was, I didn't know how to type with my feet. This is going to be really problematic. I was trying to come up with a solution to this as well. And that's when I met, serendipitously, Gertrude. Now, Gertrude may not look like much. She may look like a badly created sock puppet, but in actuality, she was a brilliant vampire whisperer, and she had a special knack for whispering to vampires that had possessed feet. And I knew Gertrude was going to be my solution. Gertrude was going to be able to tap with her little sock puppet nose on the typewriter and type out the memoir. And the best part was, Gertrude also came with her own mode of transportation. So, as Gertrude and I rode on the rocking horse in the back of a van, typing out on the typewriter, we made it to, oh gosh, at this point, it's now about 300 years. I think we've made it as far as Arkansas. We're on our way. We'll be in Oklahoma before you know it. So we're typing and we're meshing out. And then we come across a stone angel. Oh no, Gertrude said, I've seen these before. That's no ordinary angel. That's... Oh no. Oh no, oh no, oh no. I know what this is. That's an alien. They come down, they look like stone angels. And then they specifically look for vampires. And, oh my gosh. I did not want to be probed by a stone angel. Oh, that sounded so painful. I mean, why couldn't it be like a rubber angel or something? Oh no, oh no, oh no, Gertrude, what are we gonna do? What are we gonna do? Oh, don't worry, Gertrude. I have the perfect solution. We are going to find this guy. He's gonna help us out. If there's anything that can defeat a stone, anal probing angel, alien, it is a psychotic clown. I know, it looked scary too, but I have to remember I do have a vampire in my foot. So, yeah, I'm glad you got the Doctor Who reference. Yeah. So maybe this could be our solution. Maybe we'll take psychotic clown and point him to stone angel alien, and we'll just turn around and leave. Okay, Gertrude said that sounded like a great idea. So, while the two are decking it out, we turn around and jet out of there down a long country path, still on our rocking horse, on our way to Oklahoma. Now, you may be wondering where the hell this story is going. I may be wondering that as well. After all, it's been about 300 years that we've been on this path. And I have to say, on along our way, we came across some interesting characters. This couple, I don't know their names, but apparently they were along with the ride the whole time. They're just as old as we are. I think the one on the left, her name is Eunice, and that guy on the right is Alistair. And they're a very lovely couple, but I think they may not be human either, because this photo was taken when they were about 700 or 800 years old. And they said something to me about pineapple pizza. I don't know. They are a weird couple. So we invited them to come along, but they said that they were afraid of vampires. So we said, okay, all right. There's some other interesting creatures that we encountered. For instance, at one point we decided that we needed to get our fortunes told. And luckily we came across a very nice fortune teller. And I asked her, I said, is there a vampire in my foot? And if so, will typing my memoir with my foot using my sock puppet friend Gertrude help me to figure out what to do with this vampire? And the fortune teller just shook her head and sent out a little piece of paper that said, "You're going to die." And I said, "Oh, well, you're not very nice. Can you do that again?" I realized I had to give her another quarter, so I put another quarter in, and she shook her head. And she slipped out another little piece of pizza, a little piece of paper. And it said, "Your lucky numbers are 8, 10, 42, and 12. And I thought, well, okay. If I survive this, I'm going to buy a lottery ticket. Well, we continued on, and we began to think that maybe my plight was hopeless. I was going to be stuck with this vampire in my foot forever. And the only way to solve the problem was to find a place, a one-room haunted house where I could rest and couldn't leave anywhere. And Gertrude would just fetch me groceries, or, eventually over time, over the centuries, they invented Instacart and DoorDash. And I could just pace around. And if my foot went one way, the worst that would happen is I'd hit the wall. And my foot and I am sad to say, never really resolved our differences. And eventually, I died in 1955, and I'm not sure why they gave me full military honors, but it was a nice gesture. I think Gertrude had a hand in that. I think maybe they may have messed up the grave, though, because I think this is who they really intended to make that tomb for. But that's okay. I'll poor Bowser here never got to be buried with full military honors. That was all me. And late at night, if you still wander a cemetery just outside of Tulsa, because I never quite made it, you might hear under a stone tombstone the howls of the dog that did not get buried there. Sad. Oh, 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 you bastard! And then you might also hear the scrape, scrape, scrape. And it'll sound like toenails of the possessed foot, still trying to get away. The end.
Poor Bowser.
I know.
So
So I think we used up all the images you guys sent us.
no way, really?
Yeah.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah. So thank you all. Thanks. So what did
And
you guys
you're
think?
welcome.
Well, I'm seeing some people are saying some fun things. Let's see, we got that. Yep, did get intense. Hitchhiking Ghosts. Glad somebody got the Doctor Who reference of the angels. Excuse me, that was freaky as hell. Yep, I'm sure that had something to do with a lot of it. Oh, I'm sorry. I did not mean to make your dog bark, Jessica.
Oh no. I'm surprised you're not scaring
you.
your cats.
Oh. No, she's just like, I threw up. I'm good. She's just sitting over there.
I feel so relaxed now.
Yes. So again, the reason that we did this is because today, 2 years ago, we started this show. And it's hard to believe it's only been 2 years.
It's only been 2 years. We're almost at
only
the
been
end of
2 years.
season 3. Math is hard.
because- I know. It's kind of like, if you were born in 2001 and then in 2003, it's like 3 years later, but you're only 2. I don't understand math and dates. It's really hard. It makes my brain hurt.
It's just hard. Just roll with it.
I can
Yes.
draw anything. I can draw anything. I can play any music, but I cannot do math.
Thank you, Molly. Yes, it's
Yes.
been some interesting roads that we have traveled through the dark
Yes.
woods and
But we've made it
Around.
here.
yes, here we are.
So, yes, it's been 2 years, and we really appreciate all of you listening, supporting us. This has been so much fun, and of course, we're going to continue onward. We plan to do this for many, many years to come. So, please keep sending us your spooky stories. and keep letting us know what you think, what you want. We want to provide it to you. And if you enjoyed this, we are going to continue doing some of these storytelling. Thank you so much, Al. Thank you, Amanda. Thank you, Sean. Yes, I know that's what you meant, Amanda. So we really appreciate it. For those of you, looks like we do just have a couple more people joining right now. We did just finish up, but this is going to be available to watch.
I remember that. It was
Yes,
1954.
So glad that you saw us come through. Yes, I hope you helped me with my possessed foot. Yes.
I'm sad that you never made it. Never made it to
Oh well.
Tulsa.
Oh well.
I'm so
That's
sad.
okay. Arkansas is lovely. So
Sometimes
there's a
it
lot to
does
do in
feel when you're
Arkansas.
driving back to Tulsa like the drive takes 200 years or so.
I could see that. Yeah, going through
It's
that
a long
Ozarks
drive,
and all that.
especially in the winter.
Yeah, as you know, you've done it a lot. But what was I saying? Oh yes, so we are going to be doing more of these. If you like us doing these improv storytelling, let us know. We do have one available right now on our YouTube channel, and we also have our. Hey, Sudesh, glad you could make it. We're just saying we're finishing up right now, but we do have this on YouTube. We're going to take this show. So if you're watching this on YouTube, this was recorded live. Thank you for watching. We're going to have more of these if you like them. And also, if you're a patron, we do have one of these on our Patreon. And if you are a patron and you would like to participate, you can send us some images yourself. And it can be photos, it can be hand drawn, anything like that. And we're going to be putting these out for our patrons as well. So we hope you enjoyed it. Please check out our YouTube channel if you. We're so close to 100 subscribers. We got a few more today. So if you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel yet, please do. Just go to Homespun Haints, do a search for YouTube, and please subscribe. And then as soon as we can get a few more. Wait, what?
Put
Go
your
to
thing down,
YouTube.
flip it, and reverse it. Go to YouTube and do a search for Homespun Haints.
Oh, everybody knew what I meant. Everyone's smart.
Although we do have social links on our website,
Yeah.
homespunhaints.com.
Yeah, you can do a search for YouTube on Homespun Haints. So it works either way. See, I knew what I was doing. Please subscribe, and eventually we'll have a custom URL. All right, everybody, thank you. I know it's very late at night for some of you. Not so much for Diana, but Diana and I both had long days because we have been working so hard, it being our 2-year anniversary. We've got a lot more great stuff coming for you soon. And we hope you all have a great rest of your evening.
And a spooky day.
Bye, everyone.